Hi and welcome to my channel. This is Pearl and today I have my week 28 of my 2019 Project Life process video up for you today. I am using the Studio Calico Documenter Kit and I think this is the Paradise Cove. It is unfortunately sold out, but any of the other items I mentioned in this video I will link down below. Now I did this layout while I was at a crop, so if you see my hands moving, it's probably because I was trying to talk to someone or something like that. I did try to edit all those out, but just so you know, that's why I am doing the voiceover instead of talking you through my process while I was doing the layout. So I like to put my pictures in a chronological or semi-chronological order. This is the week that I drove my boys up to sleepaway camp. They were there for 7 days. They got to share a cabin with their friends and my nephew and his friend. And so most of the pictures are from that. So I'm putting them kind of in order. And some of these are the emails that I received from camp. And I apologize for the glare there. I just had two of my lights there. Even though I did put wax paper around it or parchment paper, it still had a glare to it. So I do apologize for that since I was filming at the crop. So I'm going through the 3x4 cards from the Studio Calico kit. I try placing, I think about the journaling that I want to do and look for journaling cards or just decorative cards to place throughout my layout. A lot of this has to do with going traveling, so it works perfectly for this sleepaway camp. I like to put my title card in the very left 3x4 card. I usually put the number of the week and I don't stamp the dates there since I'm stamping the dates on every single picture that I have there. I'm still going through the cards trying to decide. I get distracted easily. Squirrel. And so trying to finish this layout while I'm at a crop is a little bit challenging to say the least. Okay, so I move the right side of the layout off to the side because I like to work on one side at a time. I go chronologically from left to right and then down from left to right, usually, but not always. I use the Stays on Blank ink to date my pictures, and I use the Felicity Jane date stamp, and I do like to date every single picture. I'm using the stamp that came with the Studio Calico Documenter kit. I'm using the Stays On to stamp the circle onto the picture of the boys in front of their cabin. And then I also take a stamp that says Happy Camper and I stamp that inside of the circle. I rub it with my hands because it's a brand new stamp and I haven't used it yet. If you don't rub it, it doesn't stamp very well. Or you could use an eraser against the brand new stamp as well. Then I'm taking a cork star and I'm stapling that right into the middle of that circle. Then I'm going to take the 3x4 card as my title card, and I'm using the Felicity Jane Black Essentials Alpha. Let me see if I can say that again. Felicity Jane Black Essentials Alpha, and I put the number 28 there to indicate that it's week 28. And then I'm going to take the circle stamp again and stamp that in the middle, and then I'm going to do the camping stamp, the one with the trees and mountains and the sun, and stamp that in the middle of the circle. I'm using a chamois to wipe it clean. The chamois isn't necessarily for Stays on ink, that's why my chamois looks so nasty, but I don't get it on my hands, and this is the way I clean my stamps. So I've had that chamois for years and it still works beautifully. Okay, next I'm gonna journal, and I take the foam star and put it onto the Enjoy the Journey journaling card. Now this journaling card on the top, it says summer, and I'm using the Stabilo dark gray fine liner pen to document. I like to use dark gray instead of black so it's not so stark. And I wrote, the Bigs were signed up for sleepaway camp at Pine Springs Ranch. The Tams decided to go as well. The boys all got to be in the same cabin with Luke and Noah. Pine Springs Ranch is an Adventist camp. Since the camp is subsidized by the conference, it was only $339 for 7 nights, which is extremely cheap. If you wanted to do some add-on adventures, then you add it on to that as well. but I wanted to document how inexpensive it was to go for 7 nights at a sleepaway camp. Then I do the print and cut for the labels based on the print and label digitals from the Studio Calico kit that matches with the journaling cards. And I use my silhouette to print and cut a bunch of labels because I like to journal on the pictures as well as the journaling cards. So on the picture that I have right there, this is a picture I copied from Instagram, and I just wrote, this picture was on the PSR Instagram. And my kids were in it, so I had to, of course, take a screenshot of it. Now, the bottom left-hand picture of my son using a bow and arrow, I have the email that one of the counselors sent me about how Christian was doing at the camp and all of that, just an update. So I included the email as well as a picture that they sent with him. So the Instagram picture, I ended up cutting the bottom and the top, the black portion, and I'm going to put it on this pink flamingo card because I'm not going to use the flamingo. So I just put it on top of the card and then the label back onto there and staple it using the tiny attacher. Of course, I have to do the date stamp on the label. And I use the Stays On ink even though I like to use the VersaFine ink when I'm stamping onto paper. Now this picture on the bottom right is of my kids. We were at my parents' house for the week so that my two littles could do vacation Bible school. And we had gone to the store and my son got this Crossfire game and it is so loud. There are like these marble things flying back and forth on that board and my mom slept through it. So on the journaling card I wrote, or on the label, excuse me, I wrote, while the Bigs were at Pine Springs Ranch, we went to my parents so the littles could participate in vacation Bible school. I don't know how my mom slept through this noise. It was nice to be at my parents and have them take care of all of us. And I just got to rest and I did work on some scrapbooking while I was there. So I'm going to put staples onto this label to add texture, and I'm going to, of course, date stamp on the bottom of that label. And like I said, I use the Stays On because it's always open. I don't always have the VersaFine open because I like to stamp on the pictures. So I'm stamping on the picture of the email that one of the counselors sent. I'm putting the left side away and I'm coming to the right side. I sincerely apologize for the glare. I didn't realize how bad it was because I wasn't always looking up at my camera viewfinder to make sure that the lighting was okay. On this journaling card, it says off the grid, and I wrote location PSR and I put the date. And I wrote, Zach had a low-grade fever starting camp because he had just missed surf camp because he was sick. I got called twice from the nurse's office, and on Thursday, I had to go pick him up. He was so sad. He had spent 2 days in the nurse's office because of his low-grade fever. We thought he would get over it by then because he had been sick the entire week before, but I guess it came back and caught up with him again. So I have a picture of my son when I picked him up and his group that he was with. They were sad to see him go, especially his buddy Nathan, because Nathan had gone to hang out with Zach. So sad. So I have that there, and then I have a picture of just my son. I cut that 3x4 picture down so it could fit in the square of the You Are Here journaling card. Oh, this glare is really bad. I'm sorry. So after I cut that down, I'm marking where I'm going to cut based on the square, and I'm using my tonic guillotine to cut that down to size, and I'm going to stick that right onto the You Are Here journaling card. Next, I am going to date stamp my kids with their face painting. They got that done while they were at Vacation Bible School. Since I had to go pick up my son from camp, I went ahead and took him home and left my littles with my parents to finish out their week of Vacation Bible School. I'm date stamping all my photos. I know it's a type A thing. And on the other journaling card, the date didn't work out very well there. So I'm using my Muji pen to put the number 12 on there. Now, the bottom picture is one that my girlfriend took because she went ahead and picked up her boys and Christian at the same time since Zach was homesick. Now, on this journaling card, on the top it says, "For the record," I wrote, "Since Zach was homesick, I left the littles with my parents over the weekend and the Tams picked Christian up from camp. Jocelyn sent me this picture. I feel bad for Nathan because Zach had to come home early." And then I wrote the date on the bottom of that card where it says number. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to exchange you can't see the 3x4 card, the third one. It's just a white card with a heart on it. What I did was I took it to my sewing machine and I did put stitching onto the top of that, to that journaling card, as well as the title card. I put stitching on the left-hand side of the card. I wanted to do one more card, but I guess I forgot about it or got distracted when I was doing the stitching because I like to do things in threes. So I'm bringing my left-hand side back. I put "Enjoy the Journey," the yellow card, on the right-hand side, and I put the heart on the left-hand side, and I stamped "Adventure" into the left-hand top portion of the heart there. And that is my week 28. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.